My name is John, 22 years old, working as an employee at a Domino store on the outskirts of town. Although the restaurant is small, it is quite busy, especially in the evening. One late night around 9:30 p.m., the restaurant only had 1 to 2 customers left. That night, I worked with a colleague named Mary. The bell rang, signaling that the store had customers. Mary was busy, so I went to the counter to continue. I quickly wiped my hands on my apron and ran out with a cheerful voice. But the weirdest thing was there was no one around. At first I thought it was child's pranks. I was about to turn around and go inside when suddenly a customer walked in. In front of me was a tall, thin man with a pale face and deep black eyes. He was wearing a long black coat, looking quite sloppy. I politely asked him what he needed. He ordered a large pizza with mushrooms and bell peppers on top, nothing else. The strange thing was that he asked me to cut the pizza into equilateral triangles, each side exactly 13 centimeters long. I think he's probably quite picky about what he eats. Quickly making pizza according to the customer's request, I carefully measured and cut each pizza slice to exactly 13 centimeters. As I cut into the pizza, I felt cold air run down my spine. I looked up a bit startled. There was something strange about the man's silhouette on the wall, as if it was twisted and deformed. I gave him the pizza. He gave me a lot of change. He stared at me and gave me a scary smile. I shivered a bit when his hand touched mine. Looking down, I was startled to realize that there were no fingers in his hand, only sharp, fleshy tips. My body trembled, unable to move. I kept looking towards that man until he was gone. I still stood there without moving until Mary ran over and patted my shoulder. She asked why I was standing here, and I explained that I had just sold a large pizza to a strange man. Mary seemed surprised and told me that she didn't see any customers, nor did she see me selling any pizza. She said the store had been empty for a while. She was cleaning the kitchen and couldn't find me. To my surprise, I confirmed that I had indeed sold a large pizza topped with mushrooms and bell peppers to a man. I put my hand in front of Mary and said this is the amount the customer paid. Both Mary and I were startled when we saw a handful of soil full of insects in our hands. I panicked and threw that horrible thing to the ground. Insects crawled on the floor. Mary screamed in fear. Mary and I decided to check the store's security cameras to review the entire incident. However, I didn't see any customers entering the store. The whole thing was just me standing in front of the door talking to myself. Not believing what I saw, I checked the pizza cutting area again. But Mary and I were shocked when we saw a pile of soil full of insects on the kitchen table. I decided to report it to the police. It was absurd and ridiculous, but all the evidence I had was a handful of soil full of insects. Police discovered dirty footprints in front of the pizza shop that ended right at the right turn next to the store. The strange thing is that the distance between the steps is exactly 13 centimeters. After a period of investigation, the police did not find any trace or information related to the strange man or the horrifying event that Mary and I experienced. Mary and I quit our jobs right after that because we were so scared. After 2 months of quitting my job, the face of the man who bought the pizza that day still did not let me go. One morning I read an article that found the murderer of a construction worker 5 years ago. The poor worker was then 31 years old. He was pushed into the concrete mixer. His body was mixed with concrete and soil. His decomposing body was buried with the concrete and cement right under the foundation of the structure. I felt my heart sink when I read about the construction project of the pizza shop that I worked at 2 months ago.